Rhodes Show. Turn up your mind.
All right, everybody. Here's Eric Swalwell real quick, okay?
One of the very first committees, the very first committee hearing of this Congress, Mr. Gaetz, after we had all agreed on what the committee's plan was going to be, it was going to be voice voted, everyone agreed, Mr. Gaetz wanted to offer an amendment to say the Pledge of Allegiance. That's great. Every single person on our side supported that. Now, I don't think he really genuinely cares about saying the Pledge of Allegiance, but he wanted to do it, again, to own the libs and to see if we would vote against it.
Right.
We didn't. But who did he bring in here to say the Pledge of Allegiance? Who did he parade in here in a uniform? Somebody that he met at a gun club, he said, locally. Okay. Mr. Cicilline had the crazy idea that maybe we should vet the people who come in here, make sure they're not insurrectionists. Mr. McClintock, I am not kidding you. Mr. McClintock said, well, it's not like we're going to invite somebody who committed murder. No, he literally said that. It's not like we're going to invite somebody who committed murder. Okay, well, who did Mr. Gaetz bring? He brought Corey Beekman. Corey Beekman, in 2019, was in a standoff with the Michigan police after he was arrested and charged with murder, assault with intent to commit murder, and 2 counts of felony firearm possession. The family of the victims said Mr. Gaetz doing that, it was like getting a dagger stuck in our heart again. We were infuriated when we first saw it. I was disgusted with the whole thing. That's why there's a trust deficit here. You pull off a public stunt to try and own the libs, and what you did was you brought in a guy who allegedly shot 2 people and killed one of them. That's where the trust deficit is. So you can play your games, conduct your stunts. We're here to get done.
So, Matt Gaetz, who argued to have a second, pledge moment for the Pledge of Allegiance, to own the libs, to see if we would vote, to see if the Democrats on his committee would vote against saying the Pledge of Allegiance for a second time during the day. And they all said, you know what, you want to say it 3 times, you want to say it 4 times, you're fine. Fine. Say it now. Say it on your way out the door. Say it before you cross the threshold. We don't care. Yes, okay? Yes. But then they actually argued to have individuals come into Congress after the insurrection and lead that second Pledge of Allegiance. And Matt Gaetz apparently doesn't know how to do a Google search, okay? And he invites a guy who was accused of murder and got caught in a standoff with the Michigan State Police that he met in a gun club in Florida, because this guy, Corey Beekman, now lives in Florida, everybody. I swear to God, what do I always say? Florida's the second chance state. Arizona's the last chance state. So this guy, Corey Beekman, was charged with killing Billy Buckman in April of 2019. A key witness in the case suddenly said, nah, I don't want to testify. I don't want to. Anyway, this guy got into a standoff, a shootout with Michigan State Police, and they charged him with 2 felony counts of not being able to own a gun. And he comes to Florida, and Matt Gaetz meets him at a gun club and invites him to come and lead the Congress in the Pledge of Allegiance. The family of Billy Buchanan, the man that this guy killed, the mother's name is Janita. She said, I was shocked when I found out that the guy that's charged with killing my son is being honored while we still search for justice. It was like a knife to the heart of our family. It was devastating to know that somebody with this hanging over their head was being praised as a veteran, a hero. Even the sheriff of his county, Mason County, Kim Cole, expressed his disappointment in Gaetz's decision. He wrote in a statement, there are far more other servicemen and women that deserve the honor, and hopes future considerations will at least include a Google search. Okay. So that's Matt Gaetz's, effort to own the libs, is to invite a murderer that he met in a gun club to lead the Pledge of Allegiance in the House of Representatives. Then yesterday, Matt Gaetz was, involved in that select committee on China yesterday, okay? And he's asking questions of a guy who is, a Defense Department dude. And he's asking about the Azov Battalion. The Azov Battalion. Oh, the Nazi Azov Battalion from Ukraine, right? Which, Putin has used as a way to smear 45 million Ukrainians, that there was an Azov Battalion, who, by the way, got captured at the siege of the Azovstal steel plant there in Mariupol. Remember that? It was bloody. It was horrible. There were thousands of families, mothers, kids in that steel plant that Vladimir Putin was, just mangling and mashing with bombs and tanks and everything. Okay, so those guys finally surrendered. Some of them were Jewish, just a little aside. But the Azov Battalion surrendered after this siege of the steel factory, and they're now in a Russian prison camp. But that doesn't stop Vladimir Putin, who, by the way, Vladimir Putin, he's got his own little neo-Nazi group there. He's got, the RO. You should look that up, too. Just have a little look-see and see if, Vladimir Putin tries to get white supremacist neo-Nazi groups to make music for him and to, spread, nationalistic fervor. Because, in 2008 and 2009, the Kremlin was threatened by Navalny, who was going to run, he's now in prison too, because Russia's so free. All you got to do is say the word war and you end up in jail, or you protest in Russia and you end up in jail, or you run against Vladimir Putin and you end up poisoned and then in jail. So Navalny was actually challenging Putin, and back then in 2008 and 2009, Putin decided that in response to Navalny, he would start working with Ruski Obraz, which is, Russian image. In Russian, it's RO, okay, for short. It is a hardcore neo-Nazi group. It's known for its hardcore, slick appearance, and it also puts out, hard rock Nazi music. The band is called Hook from the Right. Hook from the Right. Okay, but anyway, with the assistance of the supervisors inside the Kremlin, RO went after Navalny supporters, okay, who were literally leaving skinhead culture, which is well established in Russia, skinhead culture, neo-Nazi culture, and they were leaving the skinheads and they were supporting Navalny. And so Vlad countered with his own neo-Nazi group that came right out of the Kremlin's supervisor's, handbook. Okay, just saying. But the Azov Battalion, that seems to be like Putin's favorite way to smear 45 million Ukrainians. Okay, so Matt Gaetz obliges. Yes, Matt Gaetz, this lover of freedom, this Pledge of Allegiance sycophant, loves the freedom, right? And he's defending Russia here by saying this. But, okay, listen.
Is the Azov Battalion getting access to U.S. weapons?
Not that I'm aware of, but if you have information,
I seek unanimous consent to enter into the record the Global Times investigative report that talks about training. It's from the Atlantic Council's Digital Forensics Research Lab, citing that the Azov Battalion was even getting stuff as far back as 2018.
Without objection, so ordered.
Any reason to disagree with that assessment? Dr.
Is this
Paul?
I'm sorry, is this the Global Times from China?
No, this is...
Say it again.
That's what you read.
Yeah, it might be. Yeah, would that be a reason?
As a general matter, I don't take Beijing's propaganda.
Well, no, yeah, but
at
just
face
tell me
value.
if the allegation is true or false. I mean,
I don't have any evidence one way or the other. As a general matter, I don't take Beijing's propaganda at face value.
fair.
Okay. Here, look at this guy. See this guy right here? Mood. That's the mood, everybody. This guy was that was the only natural reaction to this swill that Matt Gaetz is peddling. He's literally reading from a Chinese propaganda newspaper.